This call may be monitored or recorded for quality assurance or training purposes.
This call may be recorded.
Hello.
Welcome.
Oh my gosh, I'm happy to be here. Okay, so what everyone doesn't know is when our greeting is playing, I can see Chloe, but Chloe can't see me. And we were dancing together. She doesn't know that, but we were. Every time the greeting plays, I'm like, I'm feeling it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's a vibe. It's a total vibe. We were vibing. You didn't even know. You didn't even know it.
That's amazing.
Hi, Amber. I love that you're here. We adore you, Amber. And Marissa. Oh, Marissa, the OG. Yeah, it doesn't. It never fails. It really gets you every time. Okay. I'm so glad you're here, Marissa. You guys, an intro to Marissa. Marissa, Chloe, what am I talking about? She's in the chat. Sorry. I'm so glad Chloe's here. I'm also glad you're in the chat, Marissa, as well. We're glad everyone's here. What I'm trying to say, as soon as my mind calms down, is that I'm so glad Chloe is here with us. And so an intro to Chloe, because she's been on the show before. And so this is your second time, but she's one of our amazing, for lack of a appropriate word, she's one of our batting coaches who kills it every week after week. And I'm so pumped that you're here. I just love talking to you. I feel like I love your energy. And I just get excited when we're talking.
Me too, Tatiana.
And I'm happy to talk calls today because we got 4 new ones. Mm-hmm. And for anyone that doesn't know, we've never heard these calls before. This is just blind reaction. Yeah, let's just hear what we're dealing with. Amber was also dancing. Guys, were we all dancing together at the same time? Is that what's happening?
Irresistible.
Because that seems like it was a good time. Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm going to play it. I tested the audio before. This is a 5-minute call.
Oh, boy.
I feel like sometimes 5-minute calls can take like the whole time. Let's just listen to it. Let's see what happens.
It's a great day. This is Sid speaking. How can I make you smile today?
Hey there. So I'm wondering if you guys come out and go through the items that a prospective homeowner wants to do on a house they're purchasing. So it's like some knob and tube. You guys do that, and some mixing light switches because it has just a string. Overhead lighting. Is that something you guys would do that we would do either pay or not pay for a service call?
That is a good question. Here.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Here. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. The lag here on these phones doesn't make it easy. I didn't mean to cut you off there. However, we do only schedule with the current homeowner. So if you did have concerns about the home, I would just have the homeowner give us a call and we could get them scheduled. I'm not sure if every company has that process, but we do just schedule with the current homeowner.
Super. What do you have for availability next week?
Okay, let's pause. I think this is a good place to stop.
Yeah.
Any thoughts right out the gate?
I liked how she handled the call delay. We've all dealt with that. We've all been there. And I have so many CSRs who are like, oh, I talked over them. And I'm like, it happens. It's, you know, you can wait a little bit extra long after you hear them respond if it's something that you deal with on your phones. But just like this, she laughed it off. She apologized. And it was almost like a little cute bonding moment.
A rapport moment. Yeah, I agree. And she was very lighthearted about it. It lifted up the call instead of dragging it down in a way that it could have.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
I do think she could have been more positive. Like, she didn't use any negative words when she said we only book with the homeowner, but her tone of voice, like, she sounded like she was going to let them down. Like, we do only book with the homeowner.
Also, like, she used the word however, which I think is like, I'm gonna call it a negative, but let me tell you why. Okay, let me give my
Tell me.
I call it a negative because I feel like it's used so consistently in a context where there is a negative that is turned into one. It's almost like you're waiting for it. It's kind of like when actually a CSR told me this story. I thought it was hilarious because we were talking about this exact topic and he was like, well, my son, I made breakfast for him the other day and he ate it and asked if he liked it. He goes, that was good. And he was like, okay. And he goes, yeah, it was good. He goes,
Oh.
wait, I thought there was going to be a but after. Like, I thought the but was coming, like the negative was coming. And he's like, no, it was good. And he's like, oh, okay, that was weird. Right. But it's like everything he said, it's like he said but without saying it. And that's where the negative is. The negative is that but. Like, so often we're like, but, like, you're waiting for the other shoe to fall. And I think that's however, like, however, kind of says, I think you worded it well. Essentially, this is the information. It's not great news. Like, I'm sorry, I have to give it to you.
Yeah. And she didn't even know if she was the homeowner or not, right? She could just be like, well, yeah, we currently schedule with the homeowner and I can get that on the board for you if you want to have them give me a call or, whatever.
Totally. And even like say that, but wait a little bit. Did she mention, and maybe someone else heard it because I didn't hear her either mention if she was a tenant.
I also assumed that she was a realtor or a tenant, but you're right. I don't think she came out. She said, is there something that you can do for people who are looking to rent or need inspections done? So it sounds, it just sounded like she was a realtor, but I made that assumption. The CSR made that assumption.
Okay. So. I clearly didn't hear that part.
Well, you made the right call.
Sometimes, I mean, I don't even know. And we still don't really know. Amber did in the chat. She said, ask for the homeowner's information. That would have been a more, we can even we can help you with that. Are you the homeowner or someone else? Like, can I get their information? I mean, obviously we'd listen first before that, but anyways, I want to read through some of these chats because there's a few. It sounds like a realtor. Oh yeah, that's what Marissa was saying too.
Yep. Even asking, are you the homeowner is a great way to, show them listening, get some more information before just giving them what you perceive as bad news. Or, I'm sure this CSR has had a lot of people be upset about that news, and that's why she went about it kind of tender-footedly.
Right. I want to listen to the beginning again. Am I the worst? Can we listen to it again? I kind of want to start over. Yeah. I'm going to play it all the way back. And shout out to Mochi in the background.
She's getting comfortable.
I know. Little Mochi, our mascot. Okay, let me play this again.
It's a great day. This is Sid speaking. How can I make you smile today?
Hey there. So I'm wondering if you guys come out and go through the items that a prospective homeowner wants to do on a house they're purchasing.
Okay.
So it's like some knob and tube, if you guys do that, and some missing light switches because it has just a string, overhead lighting. Is that something you guys would do that we would do either pay or not pay for a service call?
That is a good question. Here.
Okay, could we get some clarity on this? Because I heard that and then also conveniently read a comment the second she actually said the part I was listening for. So she said there's a bunch of light fixtures, hanging lights, things that she needs help with, but she hasn't purchased the home yet.
What tricked me is she said prospective homeowner wants fixed. So that sounds like realtor talk to me, but I'm guessing she's selling her home. She has someone who wants to buy it, and the prospective homeowner, the person who wants to buy her house, needs these things fixed.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure I understand as we go into this. All right. I am thinking, I agree with you, Amber. And you said this too, Chloe. Ask that question. Are you the homeowner? I think that's probably, no, I am hesitant to ask that question on occasion, but this seems like the perfect instance to do it. Like if my customer called in and they had a problem, even if if they called in first and they're like, hey, like I've got this light fixture, I need it fixed, all these things. we're moving soon and I need help with it.
Right.
Right?
Are you
It's
the
really
homeowner?
unclear. Are you the homeowner or someone else? And normally if that was the case, I wouldn't ask that question first.
Yeah.
I would probably jump into, just because I feel like that could be transactional in the wrong
Agree.
setting.
Yes.
But in this setting, it seems accurate. I don't know. It seems like everyone agrees with that. I'm the only one processing this right now. But I guess
Or
just
even
with that.
if she repeated back, if she's like, okay, so you've got some light fixtures that need replaced, maybe some piping,
Yeah.
and we can definitely take care of that for you. Are you the homeowner?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I like that. I like that too. Restate it. And then are you the homeowner? I think that would definitely get the listen principle across that I'm hearing. I mean, I'm understanding. Yeah. I definitely think it's an important question in many instances, maybe logistical, like Marissa said, but I also think if I needed to say it earlier, like in this case, I feel like this is the perfect case to do that.
Yeah, especially because of their policy. I know a lot of companies won't work with realtors for whatever reason. So
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Probably just like a higher risk, I think, is what it is, because there's no commitment to it.
It's like who's going to pay for it, and
Yeah. I could be wrong about that. Well, I'm sure someone can let us know. You let us know. Okay. Let's keep going. We've only got 4 minutes left. Here we go.
Oh, sorry.
I did.
Here,
Yes,
with
I
her.
did. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. The lag here on these phones doesn't make it easy. I didn't mean to cut you off there. However, we do only schedule with the current homeowner. So if you did have concerns about the home, I would just have the homeowner give us a call and we could get them scheduled. I'm not sure if every company has that process, but we do just schedule with the current homeowner.
Super. What do you have for availability next week?
I can't get over the negative feeling I have after this.
I know, because like when someone assumes that you're not the homeowner, it's like, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Why do you
Right.
think I don't own my house? Like,
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I wish she would have talked about the problem more than focusing on the homeowner, because that seems like we're highlighting a side quest a little bit.
Side quest for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll depend on the issues you're having and where you're located.
I told you the issue.
Yeah, and I just explained what the issues, the immediate issues that we're looking at getting a bid on.
Right. Okay. I'm not sure if we do knob and tube, but I can see if we do have a spot on the schedule for next week.
Yeah, and then it would be good to know if you remove knob and tube or not, too, to save everyone a trip if you don't.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. So I do have time next week on Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay.
So I do have that time, and then I can check and see if we do knob and tube. Would it be okay to put you on a brief hold?
Yeah, that would be fine. Thank you.
Yo, she is not happy.
Yeah.
She's still not happy. And I do think it all started because with that however at the beginning, like that negative statement with no questions. And the other thing that I think stood out to me in this call was, it was funny when you called it right before the customer said it. That had me laughing, because you're like, she just said that. And the customer's like, I just said it.
That was perfect. I swear we haven't heard these calls.
I was like, oh, yeah. First time. But the other thing that stood out to me was that when we're listening to the call, like she sounds, oh man, I just lost my train of thought. Shoot, I hate it when that happens.
She sounds like she doesn't want to help.
That's true. That's true.
But also, if we had repeated back those issues before, then at least from the CSR's point of view, it would have helped you like get into the mindset of like, okay, this is what she needs done. We can do that. I need to check on the knob and tube, and because like it sounded like she was coming up with excuses why she can't book her.
Yeah. Okay. Now I remember. So kind of to that point, she's giving a lot of answers along the lines of it depends.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a whole lot of yes, I can.
Right.
Which is clear. There's not reassurance, but what there is instead, it's not like she's saying no, but she's also saying a lot of it depends. And the customer's trying to explain it. Like she's not clarifying, but she's saying, well, it depends. Like just determine it. I used this example on the show before, so anyone who's watched it, you may have heard it, but I had an epiphany with this. It's like, it depends. It's not necessarily negative, but it's like if you walked into Target and you asked an employee, like, where are your t-shirts at? And they said, well, it depends. If you got a men's shirt, it's over here. For kids' shirts, they're over there. For a women's, over here. For graphic tees, it's up here. Right? Like, they could go on and on and on. Like, why not just say, what kind of shirt are you looking for?
What type of shirt? Yeah.
Like, that's it. And then they're like, well, I can tell you exactly where the dang shirt is.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's what's happening here.
Like, the customer is completely in control of this call. Like, okay, I'm the homeowner. When's your availability? She's like, oh, I need to know what's wrong. Okay, I already told you what's wrong. So can you get me on the schedule? Like,
yeah. Yes, I think you're nailing it. All right. 2.5 minutes left. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, the poor CSR. She's mad. The customer's mad for sure. I hope she can come back from it. She can come back from it. I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
She can do this.
Yeah.
She can do this.
Of course, I'll be right back. Hi, thank you for holding.
Sure.
Great.
So the knob and tube, that would be something that our electrician would have to come out and determine if that's something we work on. Just determines on exactly what we're looking at.
Okay, great. And then is there a charge for those to come out next week once we get isn't there a form for the homeowner or what?
So the homeowner would have to give us a call to get scheduled, and they would schedule the appointment. And then for the electrical scope, it's just a one-time service cost. So there's no hourly rate, but there's just a $189 charge for time, travel, and the scope, which rolls towards the cost of repair, and the bid stays good for 30 days.
And then the buyer would be paying for that. So the seller just has to call and authorize the appointment?
No, so the seller would have to authorize, schedule, and pay for the appointment.
But then the thing is they don't own they're not going to be owning the home. So if they're paying, are you applying the credit?
Why do they care who pays? Why do they care who pays?
That doesn't make sense.
That would be between the buyer and the seller. Whoever is the current homeowner is who we would get scheduled with. And then whoever the current homeowner is at the time of the appointment is who would be paying for the appointment.
Yeah.
That is really weird because the other company I just called, they didn't care who paid.
The company shouldn't care who pays.
So that doesn't really make sense. You see, because
right.
This is a buy request. We are just authorizing it through the seller to appease your company, but the buyer will be paying that because the buyer is going to do this work after closing.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure of other companies' processes, but that's just the process we have here.
Okay, well, is there someone you can ask about that? Because it doesn't make any sense at that point. Like, the credit will apply to the buyer if the seller pays for it. The seller's not doing the work. We're just asking about it for future, so we know as the buyer's representative to do the work at some point within 30 days or whatever.
So there's no one I can ask to change the process, as we've had this process in place for quite a while now. So that would be the way we go about it. I'm not sure if that would
work for you, but it sounds like you got realtors. So, okay, thank you.
I think I'm learning why companies don't want to work with realtors.
I know. It all makes sense now.
No, that was such a plot twist.
Yeah, that was a plot twist. It did feel like that. As soon as she asked, well, the homeowner, and I'm like, aren't you the homeowner? You little sidestepper, you little sneaky dog. Oh, she got it.
I see. So here's my theory. My theory is that this company has a policy of not wanting to work with realtors. And as soon as the CSR found out that she's a realtor, all bets are off. Just get her off the phone. She's wasting my time. That kind of mindset sets in,
Yeah, totally. And you could tell. You could totally sense that from the CSR.
She's like, please hang up. Please hang up.
No, and it's so hard though, because I mean, yes, the realtor was something else. She was funny, but
you saw
CSR only, right? Like in this call, they're definitely, I mean, she did have that mindset of like, get off. And so she jumped into topics way earlier than she needed to. She treated it like a transaction. And I feel like this is the type of thing I hear from CSRs all the time. Like, well, this one's an exception. Like,
Right.
how is this an exception though? Actually,
Mhm.
it's just a customer calling for your service, and you answer questions in a polite way. You lead the conversation. Like, that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. I mean, that's easier said. I say it like it's easy, but it's simple. It's easy, but it's also in the moment, it's a lot harder than how we're talking about it now. It's nice to listen, but my overall thought in this call was just that I wish the CSR had done a little bit more to understand and listen to the person she was talking to and to the logistics too, because it didn't make sense what she was saying. And so if she doesn't know how to explain the process, she needs to understand why they have a process set in place, because that'll either allow her to better communicate the why to the customer, or it'll help her realize that maybe she's misunderstanding and she is in the wrong.
Just like when you can't give an estimate over the phone, I'm sure you have a whole bunch of reasons why, and you can explain those to your customer, in a very thorough way that helps them understand why your policy is what it is, rather than just saying, that's our policy and we're not going to.
Yeah. Amen. Louder for the people in the back. All right. We've got a lot of good chats coming in. I'm going to read them really quick. So Marissa said, I would be slightly annoyed too. At the same time, that's up to the homeowner and the home buyer. I totally agree. Amber had said, working with realtors can be touch and go, but there's so many different ways that she could have made that call go better. Amen. That's exactly my thought. My thought is that you don't want, because it's touch and go, you don't want it to be go because of you. You want it to be their decision. You know what I mean?
And so even if you're not booking, even if your policy is to not book a call with a realtor, that realtor is going to tell the buyer and the seller whether or not they should work with you.
Totally.
So you should make a good impression.
Totally agree. There's definitely, it's in it for us too. Marissa mentioned she could have also assisted her with getting something set up. The homeowner will need to call to confirm and let us know. I wonder about that. I'm sure some companies have policies against that. I mean, I say that like I could totally be wrong about that. They might not. But if they did, we could talk about a better conversation. But I like this. I feel like that, Marissa, is a very customer-centric approach. And I think that it puts the customer in mind if they were to do that. I didn't read finish your comment. The homeowner will need to call to confirm and let us know that we're taking care of the charge. Amber, is that how you would navigate? Okay. Yeah.
Or even just saying, we're booked out we're booked out until this date. We have all of next week available or whatever.
Yeah.
So they can go back to their homeowner and let them know what the available is like.
Have them call me and confirm. Yeah. Whoever wants to pay can totally pay. As long as we get your money. Girl, I don't care how you give it to me.
I know. Yeah.
So I don't get that part. Was confusing. And the realtor she was not very patient either. Like it sounded like she was fast walking the whole time, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like she was like heavy breathing and she was kind of like short and like, I don't know. I couldn't tell.
Yeah. I had trouble following what was going on because the interaction happened so quickly. And that's what happens when someone gets upset, right? They start talking faster and faster. They start repeating themselves. They start not making any sense.
Right.
They are seeing red.
Yeah. This is your reminder to apply the tools that you want to use in an upset customer call on an easy call, because that'll make it a whole lot easier when you're dealing with that upset customer. That chaos that sets in won't be as scary because you've got those habits built up.
Even when the CSR knew, like, okay, I have news that's probably going to upset my customer. That's your cue to start your angry caller call flow.
Totally.
Start treating them like they're angry before they get angry.
Yes, I just had a call about this earlier this week. It was either today or it had to have been yesterday. We were talking about upset customers, and I played a call, and they were like, I was like, would you consider this an upset customer? And they were like, no. And not that I mean, they weren't upset yet, right? Like, that's true. They were not like, I mean, that's not true necessarily. They were not raging.
Cool.
Yeah, right. They were keeping it cool. But I'm like, you got to look for the signs. An upset customer isn't just categorized by tone and pace. It's also by the words that someone says. If they tell you that you guys were just out here and now something's going wrong, that's a sign that they probably are close to being that stereotypical upset customer. Like, the signs are there.
Yeah. Or even when you have bad news, instead of getting that tone of like, oh no, you're not going to like this. Be prepared for, a bad reaction, right? In a way that still comes across as, I'm here to help you. I know this is never how we want our customers to feel. If it's a reschedule, if it's a policy that, is going to upset them, right? Go into it knowing how to handle it. Like, I know how to handle an upset customer, right? I know the principles. I can do this, rather than your tone drops, your demeanor drops, and you feel like you have no control over whether or not they're going to be upset, right?
Yes, well said. All right, I love it. I think we've got time for maybe one more.
Sure.
I mean, let me try and find a short one. Let me just see. I'm going to click through. 158. It's not bad. Oh, that was 4 minutes. Oh, 4 minutes. Okay, we got it.
It's a great day. This is Tiffany speaking. How can I help you?
Yes, I'm hoping you can help me. I'm a regular customer, and within the last 6 months, I got a new heat pump for my upstairs. And last night, the air conditioning wasn't turning on, and it's not turning on this morning. So I don't know. I didn't do anything, change anything. I'd like to get that checked out.
Alrighty, and it's located upstairs?
Yes, it is.
Alright.
That's correct.
Alright, so you are MA Jason upstairs.
Can you pause?
Yeah.
Because I want to address the mumbling. So I feel like we all struggle to fill dead air, right? And we all do it in different ways. I will make silly little noises, which is not ideal. I need to work on that.
That used to be me too.
Yeah. And we want to narrate what we're doing, but in a way that is including the person who's listening. Instead of we're narrating to ourselves, like she sounds like she's doing, narrate to the customer. Okay, I'm just putting your information here, 123 Sesame Street, and we've got your address. It might be a connection thing, because I know the connection's a little iffy on this call, but it sounds like she's just talking to herself, right? Am I crazy?
Yeah. No. It absolutely is her. That's what's happening. She's mumbling. I can hear her restating out loud. So she's not talking to the customer. She's thinking out loud.
Right.
Yeah. I totally agree with you for the record. And I do think a lot of people do this, something similar to this, where I am a little bit more sing-songy. I'll be like,
yeah.
Yeah, like I kind of like, I'm totally that person too. And so I think that a really great suggestion, alternatively, if you're good at multitasking, ask questions. That's great. Build rapport. That's also great. If you're not great at multitasking, that's okay. You could just restate it. Talk to them like you're talking to them, not like you're thinking out loud. I think that's the best way. Yeah. All right. I love it. Okay. Everything else before this, though, I will say I like her tone. I think it's sweet without being over the top, without, you know what I mean? And she sounds confident enough. She's asking good questions. A couple good questions in there. I would love to hear more validation and reassurance. So some care.
His not working.
Right. I'd love to hear that. That to me, that was what's missing is she sounds, and I got to be very clear on this. I feel she sounds like she is in solution finder mode, which is not necessarily a bad thing. And that can mean that somebody cares. Right. But the problem is that not everyone knows that means that cares. So that means you care. So if she's in there trying to find the solution, the customer can just chalk this up to a transaction and have no idea her true intentions or all the effort and the work she's putting in because she cares and wants to do a good job for him.
Right.
So, which she might not care. You know what I'm saying? She might not care. I don't know.
You put that so well. You put that so well. A lot of my CSRs will say, "Oh, well, I'm showing them that I care by booking them on the schedule and sending a technician out to solve their problem." And I love that you show care that way. That's what we do in our personal lives, right? Like with our family members, with our loved ones. Oh, let me make you some soup. Let me rub your back.
Yeah.
So that seems normal, but that's also what someone who doesn't care is going to do. Hey, okay, let me get your address. I'll send a technician out.
Right.
Care
It's
or
the
no care.
transaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I feel like I sound like a broken record at this point, but did I tell you, who was I talking to? Did I tell you my Uber analogy?
Oh, I haven't heard this one.
You haven't? Okay. All right. Anyone who's been in my training has heard it, but I love to compare it to like if you were sitting at home and your best friend brought you soup, obviously it's because they love you and they care about you. But if your Uber driver, your Uber Eats driver brought you soup,
Yeah.
it's not like, well, they care about me. No, and it's like because you ordered it. You ordered the soup. Like it's obvious that they don't care about you. And so saying to your customer, I can help you with this. I can get a technician out there. We do this all the time. That is very reassuring, but it doesn't mean you care.
I'm going to use that. I
Please
love
do.
that example so much.
Just know I use it in my training too. So
Okay.
I know that. But you can, I mean, like the same idea. You know what I mean? It's just I do feel strongly. I feel like I feel like the intention is always so good behind those sorts of conversations.
Yeah.
And the communication is just the missing key there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I am so happy, Nell, that you are here. That is a fun surprise, and I adore you so much. Nell is also another one of our baddie coaches. She's the best. So I'm happy you're here. And also, let me read yet one of the comment. Her care was intentional instead of verbalized. Totally.
Ooh,
Totally.
I like that.
I like that too. She was intentional about it, but just did not vocalize it. That's it.
I always learn something new when I talk to Nell.
I know, right? Yeah, I totally feel that. All right, guys, we're at that time. We should go. But Chloe, I adore you. I love talking to you. It's always so much fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to come on again.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. All right, guys, we'll let you go. Thanks for joining us. We'll be here next week. Have a good one.